right, so we're headed home for our first round of training for the day. Sue is a tired boy. He got a full pack walk today on a hike. He got to help with a client session, and he got to play with little Major, which is, he's probably like 4 or 5 months now. He's a puppy Rottweiler client that we met at a park, and we were able to let him romp around. I posted a few clips of them playing and having fun. So I'm going to head home, drop him off, let him sleep. Going to let Minnie out, hang out with her, eat lunch, then go back. I have one new client this afternoon, and then I got a full day of clients tomorrow. I got a couple more days of work, and then I'm going to head to Colorado for Thanksgiving. I got my best friend lives there in Denver, and I'm going to spend time with him and his family there Wednesday, and I'll be back Saturday. So that's my week in a nutshell. What I want to talk about is actually, there's a gentleman, Clark Fredericks. He has a really, really good podcast. He helps people who've been through trauma, a lot of things. He himself had been in prison. I'm not going to share his story. I will not do it justice. But if you go look up Clark Fredericks, I think he's based in New Jersey. You'll find him. Free Like Me is his podcast. So I follow him. I've listened to his podcast a couple episodes, and actually today he posted someone who has struggles with cluster headaches. And if you know me, you know I'm not the type. I live with a lot of shit. I deal with a lot of things that I have to cope with, that I find people for a lot less start wearing it on their sleeve as their identity. And I certainly want only one identity, two. As Brett as the person and who I am, and then the dog trainer guy. Everything else, it's more victimhood that I don't want to be known for. But sometimes if you share your struggles, other people who are having similar struggles can relate to it and feel heard, validated, even get some pointers as far as advice. That's even why I try to connect other dog owners who are going through problems with their dogs. So, there's strength in numbers and community, and feeling like you're not all alone in this world. The only person dealing with a certain thing that is actually more common than you think, but when you're in your own life, you're only in that bubble, and it's hard to realize that. So he had someone on, I guess it was, I just saw the post this morning, a woman who suffers from cluster headache disorder. And it made me realize that maybe I should talk about it more, because I have that as well. Because, I have migraines too, and I gotta tell people, I don't want to minimize anybody's things that they have to suffer with, especially if it causes pain and suffering. Cluster headaches are not migraines. If you look them up, they call them ice pick headaches, and it's basically because there's no similar feeling to what you're experiencing other than when someone would be shoving an ice pick into your temple. They say that it's more painful than childbirth. I could imagine, because when I get my episodes, and granted, knock on wood, I haven't had an episode in a good 5 years, and I'm overdue, to be honest. My cycle would be about every 4 years for a month. I would get I could barely work. And when it first happened, it was before my daughter was born. I was in my late 20s, and I just started feeling weird, feeling dizzy. Everything started getting kind of tunnel vision, and then it just starts hitting. And they call them thunderclap headaches. It just, like your head's going to explode. And I didn't know what it was. I had to call my dad at the time, and he came to be with me and went to the hospital, and he did all these tests, these MRIs, but they couldn't figure out what it was. And then it had happened another time in between, 2 more instances. Again, about every 4 years, you go through it for about 3 to 4 weeks, and it's like daily, and it's hell, and you just can't even you throw up. You just can't be far from home because you're afraid the next time an episode happens, you're stuck. You can't do anything. You can't think. You can't hear sound. I would literally just go in a dark room, put the pillow over my head, and just wait for it to pass, and hopefully somehow just pass out, or just pray myself through it for hours until it's gone. And these things could last for a half a day sometimes. And I've been to the hospital enough, and just what we discovered finally after the 4th time of having this, in my mid 40s, is what it was. It was not migraines, and they kept putting me on medications and treatments for it. They wanted me to get these injections, but all for migraines. And cluster headaches are not migraines. They're headaches, but they are a different form. They come from a different place. It has to do with the blood vessels in your head. So I went to the hospital once. It was actually here in California. I was living here already, and it was in Simi Valley. And what they realized was that when they put me on oxygen, I guess it opens up the vessels, and it actually alleviates that pressure and that therefore pain within 20, 30 minutes. And nothing, no morphine, no sedation, no pills, nothing was getting rid of it. It would just, if anything, make it worse. And this helped. So I went to another doctor here in California at the time. He confirmed it. And ever since, I've had medical oxygen. I'm actually light. I'll talk about it and I'll end up with it without it. But I have to get a tank and fill it again. But it's a pain in the ass. But you want to keep that on hand if you have cluster headache disorder. It's the only thing, is that when you feel it coming on, if you can catch it, great. If not, even if you're in it, you just crank that oxygen and you just lay there and breathe it in, and it will help it. It's so, it's like heavy. I mean, it's, even when I saw the post today, I'm like, oh my God, someone else who deals with this. Yes, let me comment, because I've communicated with Clark before about some other shit I've been through in my life. Yeah, he confirmed that this person, I didn't listen to the podcast yet, but the medical oxygen has saved her life also. So yeah, again, why not identify with some of the things I have wrong with me like everyone else does? I'm just not going to wear it on my sleeve. I just want to share it in hopes you get to know what my life is, that it's not so perfect all the time. And maybe in hopes that someone who goes through something similar can relate to and feel strength in numbers, or reach out to me if you have any tips or want to chat about it, because it's hell. And if you go through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, thanks for letting me share that.